Hello and welcome to my studio. I'm Jessie and this is the Knit Up and Dye podcast, episode 135, Flexibility. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's taught us to be flexible and to just kind of go with the flow because things change very, very quickly, and no matter how we plan, new hurdles keep coming up. As you know, you haven't seen me in a couple weeks. I had some new hurdles come up and I've just had to be flexible. As much as I wanted to be here and do this, as much as I had a plan, it all fell apart and I'm back now, so we're just going to go with it. I have a couple things to talk to you guys about today. No real structure. We're keeping this loosey-goosey as I had promised, and just kind of, whatever comes to mind, whatever comes to heart. I do have a couple notes because I do have a couple things that I do want to share with you. I wanted to talk to you guys about gift crafting, gift knitting, gift crochet. I have done and I am doing some gift knitting this year. And for me, whenever I buy a gift, whenever I make a gift, it's always super important to me, and this is me, this is who I am, that it be very meaningful for the recipient. And that can be crushing. I have put so much meaning and so much thought into so many gifts over the course of my life, to have things that may or may not have been appreciated, to have things that were appreciated so much more than I imagined they would be, and to have other things that were just kind of shelved. And it can be heartbreaking, it can be so fulfilling, it can be the whole scope of things. And I've had to learn over the course of my life that just because I put a ton of meaning into it doesn't mean I have to get anything back from it. Gift giving is free giving. It's giving from the heart, but without repayment. And even emotional appreciation, if you're hoping for it, you're hoping for repayment. And you've got to kind of release that. Which sounds weird, that sounds wrong. It's right to hope that somebody is fulfilled by your gift. It's right to hope that it's meaningful for them. What it's not right is to be disappointed or to demand that it is for that other person. You can be wishful, but you can't leverage yourself, your emotions, your meaning, your purpose on their satisfaction of it or their use of it. Give freely, give openly. Enjoy if it's fulfilling, enjoy if it's appreciated, but don't put tons of weight into that. Don't put your self-worth into that. Don't make decisions about your relationship, decisions about your meaning in their life based on their receipt of a gift. Am I making sense? It's a hard lesson. It's a confusing lesson, because if you're emotionally invested in something, it's hard not to expect emotional recourse. It's like being in love with the cheerleader in high school and being ignored, and determining your self-worth because your love was not returned. That's not what it's about. Give freely, without expectation, without attachment. Appreciate if there is, but don't pin weight on that. Because I do, because I fail at that lesson, each year it becomes a deeper challenge for me to find that gift that has meaning. And in this instant gratification world, everybody fulfills their needs and their wants as they want to. Some people have bigger opportunities to do that. Some people have faster opportunities to do that. If they decide they want something, they click online and then boom, it's at their house. Some people don't have the financial opportunity to have that. Some people don't have the connectability to be able to do that. However, generally speaking, the majority of us fulfill our needs and our wants as they occur. And that makes gift giving a bigger challenge. It really does. And to some degree, that makes experience gifts more interesting, more appealing, and a better opportunity. And that experience gift can be time together. It can be a project that you share. It can be something that you do even remotely together. And that's kind of where I'm heading in my gift giving, is that it's something that we can do together, or that we can share, or that is an experience for that person, rather than one more item that they could have bought themselves, or they could have made for themselves, or that is some weird gadget that's not going to get much love or use. Gift giving is always a challenge. I hope that you are able to give freely with fulfillment on both ends, but without self-judgment. What a weird topic. What a weird topic. But it hinges over into other things. So there's a knit along coming up. Very excited about this. That Unwound is doing. Unwound is that lovely little yarn shop up in La Crosse, Wisconsin, that I sell my yarns through, that I have been with now for a number of years, and I adore. I adore my customers there. I adore the owners. I have just absolutely loved my experience with them from day one. They have been a gift in my life, and I hope that I have contributed to theirs. This past year, I did not get to do a trunk show there. We had thought that I was going to do a trunk show in spring. Thank you, COVID. That disappeared. We hoped that I was going to do a trunk show this fall. Thank you, COVID. That disappeared. I'm hoping to do another trunk show this spring. We don't know. We don't know. Everything's up in the air. 2020 and COVID-19 has just been... But there is a knit along that they're doing that I'm very excited about, that I'm going to be a part of, that I'm going to definitely participate in. And it's called the Always in My Heart knit along. The pattern is Always in My Heart, and it's by Isabel Kramer. She's one of my favorite designers. I've done a couple of her sweaters now. And they're going to do this knit along from January 1st through March 5th. The beauty of this pattern. The Always in My Heart is a shawl that can be worked, it's knit, in any weight yarn. So any weight of yarn that you have, that you love, or that you want to work in, you can do this pattern in. She has the pattern available on Ravelry. You can get it through the Unwound shop. I'm pretty sure that you can get it through them. It's $4 Euro, which translates about to $5.07 US. And the pattern is basically written for worsted, or that's how she has it listed on Ravelry, but it can be done all the way down to fingering weight if you want. It's very, very flexible. But who doesn't love a worsted weight schlanket, a great big squishy, yummy, warm wrap around you? It is a triangle shape, and it's got 3 different sections on it. I'm going to try and post a photo here. We'll see if I can do that. I'm going to have to pull it off of Ravelry and try and paste it in here. Section 1 is an easy eyelet pattern in just one color. Section 2 is a basic mosaic, which means that it's done in 2 colors, but you're not carrying yarns. You're not having to fight with color work per se. It's done through slip stitches, which is so easy. If this isn't a technique that you've tried yet, give it a try, because it enables all kinds of wonderfulness. You basically knit X number of stitches and slip X number of stitches and knit X number of stitches. You're not using 2 yarns at once. You're only using 1 color across the row at a time. Section 3 is ribbing. This is just warm, cozy deliciousness. I am very excited to knit this. In fact, when I showed my husband the pattern, he was like, "Ooh, I like that one." So it really is beautiful. Like I said, this knit along is going to kick off January 1st. So let's get the holiday crazies behind us, get into the doldrums of January. Okay, it's New Year's, it's a new year, let's start a new project. And let's have some fun with this. Pop on over to unwoundshop.com, click on calendar for details. They have over there, they've been wonderful. The Unwound shop is so organized. They have broken it down into options, into weight options, and shown you what you need if you want to do it in fingering, if you want to do it in DK, if you want to do it in worsted. And they have a fantastic assortment of yarns on their online shop there. So even if you're not in La Crosse, Wisconsin, click on the store and shop there. They carry Dye Monkey yarns. It's beautiful stuff. You really ought to check it out. And there's such a variety. They have Leading Men Fiber Arts, they have a couple other indie, and they have their own store brand yarn that you can choose yarns there that'll really make your project pop. They also talk about in the breakdown of each of the weights which section uses like a speckled or a variegated and which one needs to be really tonal to really make that project sing and look just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Check it out. I'm very excited. I haven't decided what I'm using for yarns yet. I actually popped over to the shop this morning and spent some money and bought some unwound yarns so that I have a palette to choose from. I just haven't decided. I'm very excited and I have so much yarn, but I don't necessarily have things that coordinate. I've got colorways, but I don't have coordinating sets. And that's something that I'm looking forward to doing as well. I recently did some dyeing that was specifically designed to coordinate, and I really enjoyed that process. And I'm hoping, and I'm not locking myself into this, I'm keeping everything flexible, but I'm hoping to do some more coordinated sets and maybe get some kits up. I have wanted to do kits on the site for a long time, and I've had a couple over the years that meh, but I want to do some coordinating sets. I do have one, it's not a set, but I have 3 colorways right now that coordinate beautifully and would work lovely on the Shift Shawl, the Shift Cowl by Andrea Mowry. And I think I want to do more things like that, where I have a set that matches with a pattern or that would work well with a pattern or any other pattern really, but have colors that kind of coordinate with each other or are in the right contrast set to really make that pattern pop and show off. Speaking of colorways that coordinate and really pop and make a pattern show off, I have the next item in my pile of things to talk about for you, and let me pull up my project page on Ravelry that has all my notes. This particular pattern is a crochet project. And you know I don't do a lot of crochet, so this is a rarity and a special project for me. I love this pattern because the way it is crocheted and the way the color changes happen on it, it looks woven. And the texture and the way the colors interact on this pattern is just beautiful. I love that woven kind of look. As much as I love a good granny square, and I do, this woven kind of look really sings for me and is one of the few reasons that I will crochet. I'm not a good crocheter. I'm just not, it's not my forte. I prefer to knit. But when I crochet, this is the look that I like to go for. This pattern is called Through the Clouds. It's the Through the Clouds Shawl, forgive me, by Rachy Newin. And let me just double check. I think this might be a pay-to-play. Yes, it's a $6 pattern. And she's got really good instructions in there about how to stripe it a certain way, which I threw out. I made it my own. This is the second time I've crocheted this pattern. The first time that I crocheted the pattern, I had added an extra color, and I had just to expand, to get some extra yardage to make it a little bit bigger. I like a really big shawl. I like to wrap it around me and have it be bulky enough that wrapped around me it's not falling off. I don't need a pin. it's right up and keeping me really, really warm. It's basically a sleeveless sweater if you want to go there. I like a big shawl. And so by adding one extra color to it, I had the ability to extend this out. The first time I had done this, I did it in teals and creams, which was lovely. I enjoy it. I wear it pretty often, but I wanted an alternative. I wanted another one in a totally different palette, and so I crocheted it again. This time I crocheted it in oranges and peaches. And as I was going along in it, I had chosen 4 colors. I had an orange, I had a peach, I had a speckly cream, and then I had one other color that had some yellows in it and some oranges and some pinks in it. And when I got to the point in the pattern where I was ready to incorporate this 4th color, I started to crochet it in, and it just did not work for me. It didn't quite, it blended too much. It didn't sing on its own. It didn't have enough visual punch to make an impact on it. It was more like filler, and I wasn't happy with it. And I tore it out, and I tried again, and I tried to make it a thicker row in there, a bigger section block in there, and it just didn't have the punch that I needed, that I wanted. It didn't have any impact in the project. It didn't contribute to the project. So I pulled it back out, and I showed the project to my husband, and I said, what am I going to use for a color in this that's going to make this pop? I need something that stands out, that makes it more, that gives it some contrast. Do I use a red? What do I use? And we looked at a couple different skeins. He has a wonderful eye. Sometimes third-party input makes all the difference and really answers the question. And I'm going to try and hold up the orange section only so that you can see what I was looking at. I had this beautiful rusty burnt orange color. I had this beautiful peach. I had a little bit of cream happening in a stripe, but nothing was singing. And he pointed to a purple. This was not a color that I had considered. This was not a color that really did I think was going to play well with this. There was some red in that orange, so it kind of fell into that part of the color wheel, but in the end it was the answer. The color purple added to this made a huge impact, wove in beautifully. I adore it. I think it is just beautiful. I striped at will. I threw the pattern striping protocol, her plant, right out the window. And I let the patterns sing. I let the colors sing and tell me who they wanted to be, when they wanted to be. And I changed it up whenever I felt like it. There were a billion, million ends to weave in. Because I did that, every last one of them was worth it. Look at what this did. I am so happy with this. In the end, I opted not to, she has you go around a couple times at the end, or once or twice, to frame the work and to finish the edge. But honestly, my edge came out so clean this time, because my crochet skills have improved. My edge came out so clean this time, I didn't go around and edge it. I let the stripes go right to the edge without a frame. And I'm happy with that. I think it's beautiful. I'm very happy with it. And as you can tell as I'm holding it up, yes, it's massive. It's a big old blanket-sized piece again. And when I wrap this around, because of the stripes, all the colors just blend and contrast and work beautifully. Very happy with this project. I'm so happy with it. Am I eager to crochet another one of these? Nope. That's me, and that's my experience with crochet. I'm just not an apt crocheter, and this took me a lot of time. It really did. Crochet generally is a very fast thing. I have difficulty getting my hook into the space where it's supposed to go. I split my stitches a lot. I have to be very careful. Even with all this practice, even in the last row, I was still having difficulty getting in it. It's just not my forte. It's just not my skill set. We all have places where we shine and places where we don't want to go. That said, it's lovely. Her pattern is well written. I like her work. She has a number of different things. Because I follow her on Ravelry, I see her new designs come up. She has some lovely floral, kind of organic looking things where she's doing lace. As tempted as I am, the idea of doing lace and crochet is outside of my skill set. I'm comfortable enjoying it, appreciating it, and telling you to go check it out. If you are a crocheter, go see her work. It's beautiful. I did this in, like I said, 4 different yarns. I did this in Swimming Upstream colorway by Trilogy Yarns on her Glamorous base, which is a fingering. I did this in Trilogy Yarns on Cosmic Sunshine, another fingering weight base on her Glamorous base. I did this in Velvet Grapes on Malabrigo yarn, sock yarn. That's that purple. It's a fingering weight. I love this colorway so much. I bought more of it. I had this in my stash. I had that purple in my stash for... I've had it since 2013. Ha, I love this. It tells me exactly when I bought it. I bought it January 22nd, 2013. I never found a project that I liked for it. It's here, it's glamorous, it's glorious. I love it. I love it so much that after I knit this project, I went and I bought more of it. Fortunately, Malabrigo sock yarn still has this colorway, and I actually have plans to make a sweater in that because I'm psychotic. And I'm really attached to doing sweaters. And then the orange yarn, the deep orange yarn, is Pagewood Farms Denali hand-dyed sock yarn. I don't know if Pagewood Farms is still producing. It is in the fabulous fall colorway on her fingering. Just beautiful. I had gotten that yarn, again, it's one of those yarns that's been in my stash forever. I had it in my stash since 2012. This was a stash dive project. So happy with what I was able to do with it. The other 2 yarns by Trilogy Yarns I had bought specifically with this project in mind, and I'm so glad that I did. They really sing together. That, I think, is about all that I have to show you this week. Hopefully I'll be doing this back on a weekly, bi-weekly kind of schedule again. I do still have things in the stack. We have 2 more sweaters and a cowl to talk about. And theoretically another sweater that's kind of on hold right now. And not for any reason other than I stopped working on it to really put time and energy into a couple projects that were gift projects that I wanted to get done. And one that's still going. The beauty of my family is that we're not really date specific about our holidays, and we're gracious enough to recognize that sometimes Christmas comes a little bit late. I do have a gift knit that I'm doing that is very meaningful to me. I hope is meaningful to the recipient, that I have been putting all of my time and energy into. The only other thing that I have been working on in the meantime has been my How to Eat an Elephant blanket. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I got an advent calendar this year from Supernatural Yarns. Shannon, I love you. This was the first time I had ever purchased an advent calendar for myself. And although I had been tempted in the years past, I just never did it. It is an outlay. That is an expensive gift to get for yourself. It is, I'm not gonna lie. I splurged. I knew that having a sock yarn mini advent would really help me focus and kick on to my How to Eat an Elephant blanket, because I would be opening a fingering weight a day. I could ball it right up and I could put a square a day on. My goal with that project is to do 3 squares a week. With my advent calendar, I have been doing 7 squares a week, and I'm making huge progress on it, and every day is just so beautiful. They're so beautiful. I am already setting aside a jar for pennies and quarters and nickels and dimes, and like excess, anytime I've got change or a little bit of money left over, I'm putting it in a jar so that I can order my advent calendar again next year. Because even if I were to finish that blanket, the joy that I have had each day, setting aside a little bit of time each morning before I go to work to open a little gift for myself that is yarn oriented, that is a surprise. Each color is different every day. And this particular kit, she had done a theme, and it's all Hogwarts and it's the Hogsmeade Advent Calendar. So it's all Harry Potter themed. It's something I enjoy. It's something I love. It's something that I have fun with. And each day opening it up and seeing her interpretation of a candy from Hogsmeade, one of the shops, or one of the joke shops, or it has been wondrous and delightful and fun. And that little bit of time each morning set aside just for me to open up a yarny gift to myself has brought me a lot of joy and a lot of peace this year. And I wouldn't trade that. It has been great fun. I highly recommend her products. I always have. Shannon was my mentor getting into dyeing. She's been a friend of mine forever, and I just love her work and I recommend her to anybody. Check it out. If you're following me on Instagram, you're seeing each day. She had a nice calendar that has all the colorways listed on it. It came in a single box. I dug down a little bit into the box because I've been very faithful. I opened it and I started with day one, and each day I just do one. But I dug down into the box a little bit the other day. She's got all these extras packed in there, all wrapped up nice, that I'm going to get to as the month progresses. And I can't wait. I had wanted desperately to do an Advent this year. I really did. And I had started to set up for it last November, so that when I got to this time of year, this year, I would have been able to ship packages. I would have had pre-orders happening late summer, August, September. COVID happened. And what happened as a result of all the shutdowns and everything else that happened was we had a massive supply shortage in bases. If you're buying from other dyers, you may have seen some of us slowed down production. Some of us straight up had back orders. Some of us are still struggling to ship out Advent calendars, or they're shipped and they're lost in the mail because right now all the shippers are drowning. Everybody's shopping online. Everybody is, the shipping is massive right now, and everybody is short-handed, and everybody has got massive overflow because they're used to people shopping in stores, and they're not shopping in stores, they're having things shipped to them. This caused a lot of backlog. It also caused base to get stuck in other countries, not be produced as quickly, not be available, be in short supply, so that some of the bigger buyers were able to buy big stocks and buy them out before some of the smaller dyers were even able to dye or purchase to dye. That happened to me through most of the summer, where base was just not available to me. I could not get a hold of it. My supplier, they had one shipment come in. They put out the alert that they had the shipment in stock, that they had updated their quantities and it was available for sale through their website again. In the time it took me to log onto their site, search out my base, and put it in my shopping cart, it was sold out. This happened a couple times. This happened to a lot of other indie dyers. So although I was leveraging at the end of the year, by March, when I was ready to start buying base and set myself up, I already couldn't get a hold of it. My dream is to do an Advent calendar next year, and I have ideas. I already have all my notes in place. I was ready to do this already. I had thought about doing it in a DK weight. I'm thinking more about doing it in a fingering weight. I think there's more projects that are fingering weight mini compatible. I'd love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear, Jess, yeah, please do it in DK and mini, make both available. Jess, please only do fingering. I don't do anything in DK. Jess, oh my God, DK would be great. I don't ever see DK minis except for what you have in your shop. Whatever. I'd love to hear your feedback on that and be part of planning and be part of my company. You're a chunk of this anyway. Have your voice be heard, and let's team up. Let's work together and make this the best we can. We'll see what happens. I'm not dedicating to it. I'm not promising at this point. I don't have that luxury. I need to see what happens through the Christmas holiday. With vaccines coming in, we have some opportunities to get ourselves and our economies back and rolling again. That having been said, nothing that we've tried to plan has gone through, so I'm staying flexible. Flexibility is going to be key here. But that doesn't mean I can't dream, and that doesn't mean I can't plan, and that doesn't mean that it all won't come into fruition anyway. Go for it! That, I think, is everything. I said I was done some probably 20 minutes ago, and here I continue to have stuff to say to you because I missed you. And I miss doing this. I miss sitting down and talking to you and sharing with you. And this is everything. This is my private time. This is my fun time. This is my connection time. And I hope it is for you too. I do have, last minute announcement, a clearance sale going on through the end of the year. I have some bases that I have decided I'm done with. I'm not going to bring them in anymore. I was a little too widespread. I had a lot of different bases that I made available as a result of trunk shows, as a result of whim, and I'm going to be eliminating those bases. I'm going to dye up the rest of what I have and get them into the shop. That being said, that means that my high twist single silk blend is on sale. That means that my cashmere blend is on sale. That means that my 115 gram DK weights are on sale. That means that my Stellina base is on sale. There's a lot in there, including some stuff that was dyed to new colorways. Pop over, get yourself some deals. Sign up for the newsletter, get an extra coupon, it's stackable. If you're one of my patrons, you get a coupon, it's stackable. Go get in there and get yourself a great gift. There's some luxury stuff in there, there's some fun stuff in there. My sock blanks are in there as well. Those are also on discount. I haven't totally decided if I'm going to eliminate my sock blanks or not, but I'm going to discount them for now, and we're going to see what happens. I may bring the sock blanks back. I love hand painting them. I think they're fun. I enjoy working with them. Nothing rolls around. It folds up nice and neat. But for now, they're on clearance. And enjoy it. Go get some gifts for yourself there. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.